Thursday, brother. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How about you? Happy Thursday to you as well.
Look, it's been a crazy week. I actually lost track of time. I've been so busy, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, we had another unexpected death in our business family.
Oh,
So
no.
rest in peace to Randy Truitt. He was a juggernaut in this IT professional consulting services realm.
Oh, I'm sad to
And
hear that.
yeah, big shoes to fill, which I feel like is a gap that may not possibly ever be filled. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, salute to him.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, thank you for joining me in the Rose Garden. My name is Sarita. I'm one half of this wonderful sibling pair, and we come here every Thursday for our own personal therapy. What started out just a sibling conversation now has been something that extended for your enjoyment. We have this exceptional group chat that be going off, and they were really proud of you last week for all your level of self disclosure. But then they got a little disappointed in both of us, which is something we're gonna have to talk about to today because I this is the first time I was personally challenged by the group chat, and they asked some questions. Now, another cool question somebody was asked is how can they get in the group chat? So I said, me and brother haven't explored how we can actually have people get in the group chat to add their own questions and comments. I know we have a link for folks to join the show, but brother, how could we do that for them?
Yeah, I don't know. That group chat is yours. People ask me about that group chat all the time. I don't know nothing about the group chat. Mm. I think it is. I think the group chat is like that imaginary thing that our grandmother used to do to us, where she said, "I'm gonna go in this room and light a candle and then take a nap, and then when I come out, I'm gonna the candle going to show me the face of the person who did this." Yeah.
And then and then what would normally happen is you would tell on yourself because you didn't want the candle to
Nah,
explode.
I would never tell her myself, but she figured out, but that I believed in the candle because the candle was always right.
Well, you know what that
Maybe
tells.
the secret thing was maybe part of the candle trick that I don't know, because again, like some things are innately just part of you, and I ain't part of the snitch culture, so I also don't think that I it never, so stuff that you don't do, you don't ever get into your mind that anybody else would do it. But now that you said that, I'm thinking maybe she knew it was me all the time because my siblings were snitching on me.
Let me just say this. You can't be a part of a snitch culture if you're telling on yourself. Okay, a lot of times. So you just exposed me to a couple parts of your character that I know was there where you were gonna let somebody else take the fall for your sins. Now let
No,
me
I mean, I didn't. I said let her figure it out. If I ain't gonna tell her myself, hey, that's part of the constitutional right, right? They say,
oh, he said the Constitution.
I plead the fifth, right? You don't never incriminate yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Our producer said innocent till proven guilty. I think it this is very interesting to me because I learned a lot, as we have matured. I've always said that our relationship is good, and I feel like I could really describe you. But then the more time we spend in the rose garden, I'm like, I don't really know this motherfucker. He's crazy.
Well, I already.
So you were willing to let me get a whipping because there were times where I wanted to tell. So snitch culture, we gotta describe. I wanted
So
to
I,
tell
I
because I
think
knew who did it.
I think lightweight y'all probably was telling. Y'all probably
I never
told
told on
because
you.
I was.
I told on myself. I told on myself. I never told on y'all. I told on myself, and I told on myself quickly because I felt like she had a whole ritual with this. She had it in a sacred little box, and she had a little card with an angel. I really thought this was a spiritual thing and tool. So so a couple of things, we went to church a lot, and I didn't would not want to go to heaven at that age for sure. I wanted to make sure I was going to heaven. So if it was truly me, I would tell. But then I would do little things like, y'all need to tell the truth. Y'all need to tell the truth. And then that didn't, sometimes it moved y'all, sometimes it didn't. So, But I see you were fine with your siblings taking you home. This is a
Well,
sad day.
that never happened because I know that the candle, the candle seemed to work. I for the longest time, I believe that happened. That a face could appear in a candle.
Well, like our producer said, grandma's intuition is undefeated. And I'm gonna tell you something.
100.
My grandmother did have eyes in the back of her head. That is a statement that she used to use, and she would, she first of all, if you knew her, she walked really fast and she was fast moving, and but she could like hear you in through the walls, and she would say, "Sarita, sit back."
She was very alert. She was a very alert woman.
She was a very alert woman.
That which means you have to pay attention to detail and all that. So she was very attentive.
But
Very.
even when she wasn't there, like
Mhm.
remember that separate pantry where she would be
Mhm.
moving through the pantry, and
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
she'd come in and be, she'd almost put the nail on the head. So she was interesting. But the group chat isn't quite that, even though it's an interesting, I like that. I like how you're putting it all together. The group chat actually started so folks can understand where it was a place where me and a group of friends just kind of gathered in. We kind of, this was my support group before we had the Rose Garden.
Uh-huh.
Then when the Rose Garden started, of course, I put in the group chat, everybody watched the Rose Garden. Me and my brother are about to do this thing. And so I think that our audience, it consisted of those people in the group chat. Well, in the group chat, we now have some pretty loyal followers.
Oh,
um,
word.
and particular because I think two things happened. One, we're
Mhm.
male and female, and some of them women in the group chat who are my friends, was just has happened all my life, truly. And the problem really is yours, not theirs, was they were trying to challenge, um, you know, the fact that we were siblings. They were like, "That can't be your brother." And then I got to know that they were trying to date you, which is completely like, you don't need to come and get my permission. As long as you understand that this is always going to be my brother, and you, whatever our relationship is like, you are not coming in between that, right? So you
Mhm.
take that, you kind of buyer beware, do whatever you want at your own risk, because how I have always represented that situation. But now the group chat, now you have some, now you have some fans, I think. And then, now you got all these fans. And so I got to be batting down the fans, which is fun because they usually ask good questions and it creates good conversation for us. But this was the first time that the questions were asked of me in the group chat, which means either you have an effect on the audience, or they're connecting to our story. So we'll talk about that at the very end, because it's a topic that you and I actually haven't discussed before. So I don't know that we have shared agreement on, and it's sensitive to me. So, but I'm gonna bring it up since the group chat brought it up. But that does not answer the question, brother. How are we gonna get people in the group chat if they want to ask us questions? What can they do?
Well, I mean, they can always join. They can come chat here with us here,
Yeah,
right? Because the
yeah.
producer gonna let us know what's up, and then there's a link where they can also dial on in. If they want to chime in directly.
And they could
We can
probably
talk
list
straight up.
questions. We could, and they could list questions for next week
Right,
on the
right.
previous week, or in on YouTube, they can just ask questions, I would imagine,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So,
Mhm.
you know, we'll keep we got to give them some tools to kind of help and connect with us. But um the topic that's most pressing for me today is this growing trend on TikTok. Two little topics that are happening on TikTok that's really getting on my nerves. I don't know. Are you on TikTok?
Nah, I ain't on TikTok.
Oh, see, again, this is like you like, where do you live? Are you like a hermit? You don't have any
No,
social media.
I have a real life. I have a real life. You know what I'm saying? My own life.
Mr. Producer, you got a
All
TikTok.
the- no, the producer said he don't have one. He ain't on that either. He g- he got his
What?
own. He got his own life too. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wait a minute. Okay, so how are you getting information? It's all through what?
I don't get information from TikTok for sure. I know that that's not the right place to get information from.
It is not the right place, but people are
Mm-mm.
certainly getting information from that.
Yeah, yeah, that it is, but that ain't I don't feel like that's the right place. But I do understand that that's like a modern day time thing
Mm,
to plug into. I honestly view it as like a waste of time. It's the same fundamental of like finances, right? Because it's
mhm,
just an investment of resources is the whole economic game. So
mhm,
my whole thought process is like, when people they always say that they can't afford something, right?
mhm,
But if you really take a look at somebody's habits, they might be spending wasteful money in
mm,
various ways. Like somebody might wake up every morning and get a cup of coffee, right?
mhm,
Or also, every week sometime they're going out and doing something recreational, right?
mhm, mhm,
Now if they was to just simply not do those things anymore, that's their investment money right there.
mhm,
You know what I
mhm.
mean? So it's the same thing with time. It's like, man, if you got a lot of things to accomplish, what would you do and spending your time scrolling through TikTok feeds? You know what I'm saying? That's like you done messed up the 24 hours you got in this day, of
Right,
which 8 of those you're gonna have to sleep on. You know what I
right,
mean? The
right.
few of them joints you gotta do personal things on. So to be productive, it's only a small chunk of that time that you have. So
Well, we
I
know bald-headed brother does not like wasting his time. Well, I'm
right.
not necessarily I'm on TikTok because I live in this century and everybody like at school is on it. I wouldn't say right? Like it's what I'm supposed to do. But
Mhm.
one of the trends is this new like in my Netflix if I when I'm preparing for my next Netflix documentary. Have you seen that trend on
Nah,
any
nah, nah.
social media? Dear God, you're like the worst person to talk to
Hmm.
about these things. So, long story short, I was having this conversation with somebody who's not in the group chat, but a very good friend. And the conversation kind of took a turn when it was an interesting kind of turn because the person said that they were private, right? And my observation was, well, you're not really that private because you play everything out on social media.
Right,
So
right.
this person can give you every TikTok trend that there is, and that this person has done it. Okay, so I was like, you're really not that private because you're on these trends, and so our argument, kind of like our debate, was that when if you don't do those things now, if you're not engaging with that kind of material, you're really not living life amongst your peers because that's what your peers wants to see of you. They don't want to see your perfect life. They want to see, these little stupid trends. And so it gave me a lot of insight into how people are really very much disconnected socially because those trends are just that. They're stupid. They're not really ways to connect. And it whoever started it, it makes that person really famous. But these things aren't making necessarily you famous. The other thing is, I'm like, you know what? People who think they are something may not be. So this person kept saying, I'm so private. I'm so private. I'm like, we actually get to see a lot of glimpses of your life because every aspect of your life is on social media. And I think that's something that um, a lot of
Well,
people are
maybe
missing because they think that, like, they really think that the social media people are their friends. Like, they're my friends. They like me.
well,
And
maybe they are private, right? It's like, do you think like those people who are what do you call them? I forget now. It's the those people that be fake. It's a law enforcement job, but they are faking, to be. No, no, it's
impersonate
undercovers.
undercovers.
Undercovers. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's fake.
undercovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the undercover is fake, right?
Mhm.
But he's out there doing something. So when I hear that person saying they private, but they're putting what they want, the impression that they want people to believe of them on the internet is that they undercover then. They bullshit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
But I do think a lot of people do that because you could be whoever you want to be on,
You can be.
social media. Wes showed me this this one joint where how I guess this one thing I do see on Instagram sometimes is guys pulling up in these like fancy cars and a reaction that women have, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he showed me this one joint where it looked like the guy pulled up in a fancy car, but it was like made the front of it was made to look like a car, but the backside of it wasn't a real car. You know what I'm saying?
Deception.
It was deception. Yeah. So
Yeah.
dude looked like he popped out of this whip, and the girl had a reaction to it. Then when she tried to walk over to the whip and she saw it
Oh
was,
my gosh. Of course, this
she
would be what you look. This stimulated your mind because of what? The woman being deceived?
no, it just showed you something about like how the world works out here. And I mean to me it was an extreme example of just the reverse of what men be feeling, right? Because the thing is, like, a man might see a woman, right? Because let's just say this: in environments where socially you're physically coming out to meet each other, right?
Mhm.
And digitally, it's like this too. But let's just say socially, if you think about it, all the environments that you're gonna meet a person in socially that is designed to be this way,
Mhm.
they're darker. They got this lighting that changes it. So you might literally be sitting in this setup environment. The mood is set and all this, and you have a perception of an individual you talking to, and then when you get into regular lighting, what I'm saying, like the next day when the
Right.
sun comes up and you like, who the hell is that? What happened to the other person? So
When
they
you
they transform back into the pumpkin they was, you know what I'm saying?
Lord have
So
mercy.
I think that's men deal with that all the time. You know
Well,
what I mean?
so the bottom line is people deal with it, and our
Yeah.
producer got it right. People are seeking validation on social media.
100.
But I
100.
also think it's not allowing us to see ourselves through what we really are. So if that person kept so it's interesting because we haven't talked since that conversation. I noticed that that person must have felt judged by my interaction pattern because one of
Mm,
the things I said
mm.
was, well, if you're so private, why can I tell you everything that you've done? And I rattled it off. I was like, you did this, you did that. I said, that's not really private. Everybody's got a glimpse into your life. And I said, and we're making some sort of judgments on it. Like, and I said, and you're opening yourself up to my negative inspection of you, right? So the next thing that happened, was like, you're always judging people and blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know, like, you're causing me dissonance with
Oh, y'all was shooting shots back at each other,
we
huh?
were
Y'all was
shooting
in a
shots.
shootout,
Yeah,
huh? He
because
ain't private. You judging people. He or she. I don't know if it's he or she.
right, right.
You judging people.
I'm being very selective on my words.
Now,
So
what did you shoot back at? What was your?
I just said I said that it's observations and that's what you want, right? If you're putting
Mhm.
yourself out there, you want me to observe it. What I'm telling you is like, so then we got technical, then I had to say the definition of privacy and blah blah blah. So it turned left really quick. It really did. And which was unfortunate because I really didn't want to talk about. Like I think though, but there was something that I reacted to that is important. One is I think people don't do enough of introspection and they want to keep telling you who they are. And that may be who they want to be, but that's not who they are now. And so I'm gonna give you
Mhm.
a good example. Oh, see, I'm listening. So I think in this situation, this person, that's who they want to be, but that's not who
Okay.
they are. And they are seeking
Mhm.
validation. And this
Mhm.
very person, right? This very person always says that, and this is the vein, maybe I'm shooting shots at this person now. They always say, you and I are the same size. Now, I have been various sizes throughout my life, but me and this person are not the same daggone size. We're never gonna be the same size, and even if you are pulling a medium off the rack, that medium is hugging you differently than it is hugging me. It's probably asking to be
Oh,
released.
you shoot a shot. You shoot more shots over there.
You know, but but I think if that person keeps saying it over and over again to themselves that we wear the same size, people are size, and I'm thinking, damn, do I look like her? Do I look like that person? So it's interesting. So my public service announcement to everyone is to self-reflect because when somebody is in your presence who can see, and this is my famous line, I got eyes. You like this is like there's no deception here. So you can't come to me and tell me like I'm a medium and my eyes are seeing an extra large.
See, see, it's funny, right? Because I was thinking that I really do believe that like everything all exists in one. What you have the potential to be, who you are, and who you were is all in you. You know,
Mhm.
it, I've been reading this Malcolm X's autobiography,
Yeah.
and long story short, I was seeing how connected to who he became, how he was it already in certain ways, right?
Okay.
It was just to for lack of a better way of saying it, you could tell the evolution of development as a child because it was unstructured as a child.
Yeah.
He had bits and pieces of it.
Mhm.
It just wasn't all together. But when he became an adult, it was just refined. Like
Yeah.
everything became like more uh in alignment with each other,
Right.
itself, like all the dimensions. I think people were like that too. Like all of us are that way, right?
Mhm.
Where we're, what we were, you know, don't necessarily mean that in that time space continuum that's the whole picture of us, but it is a picture, it's a portion of
A
it.
portion
You
of
know what I
us.
mean? Yeah, it's a fundamental foundation of the picture of who we are, but it ain't everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then so I do think, as there's like this expression, like self-expression that's happening, you
Mhm.
know. Salute to Oso, right? 'Cause Oso, I sent you a
Yeah, Black
video where
Jesus
he
is
was
over there
speaking.
communing with with
Like Jesus is communing with the minister.
with the minister. Yeah, I see you over there shaking his head and giving some guidance. I said, I saw you. I saw you.
Hey, well, he inspired the minister what he was saying, because I
Right.
didn't catch what Oso said initially, but I
Mhm.
I was just gathering it from what I heard, like what
The response.
Yusef told me, and then also what the minister was saying,
Mhm.
right? But ultimately, also was saying something about like stars, right? He
Mhm.
was he was he was talking about this topic, and basically that sometimes a star, what we see in the sky of like light being emitted from a star, like that star been long dead,
Mhm.
but we still actually observing the reflection of that star, the
Mhm.
energy that star has put out, and it's not
Mhm.
it's not dead in that sense because the star is still the remnants of that star is still being experienced in parts
Mhm.
of the universe.
Okay.
So it was, whatever you said must have been a deep thing because you know
Well, it
you
was
said something
beautiful
good.
what the
Yeah.
minister was saying about um, how he carried his spouse with him, which was
Hmm.
essentially, I mean, this is painting with broad strokes, because the minister had lost his spouse, and now, um, but what he was describing for the audience was like she's not lost. Her message, her
Hmm.
feeling, her
Hmm.
presence, how she
Hmm.
contributed to who I am, and how she contributed to everybody else is not lost. And so,
Hmm.
um, I felt that too because I think when you really do have a life companion, which it
Hmm.
sounds like, then the things that you've built in life and done in life sit with you regardless if that person's sitting next to you or not.
Hmm.
I think that too about siblings because the challenge for us in our group chat, if we can pivot, was about the sibling relationship. So I'll first start with one, they were like, "Are you and your brother actually as close as it looks?" And, I think that's an interesting question because I think that all siblings go through periods of rivalry, resistance. what I'll say for myself is I have loved the adult relationship we have. There's there's different versions of ourselves throughout life, and I would say there were different times when we weren't as close. But I feel as off like one thing of reason we do this is because I would authentically reach out to you in my most dreadful places, and you would be, you would listen, which is, I think you have a really good skill at that, and you would usually give really really good advice, and I hope that you would find my advice good too. So for all those people, because I think what they're looking for is some drama, right? They want us to fight. They want us to they want the sharpness of what a sibling relationship can be. And I'm certain that we have it, but I mean, like, we have had those periods where we've argued. We can certainly share it with people if that's what they want. One that stands out is the time I fell in front of your house when where you left me.
When I was putting somebody out,
Yeah,
you know
you
what I'm
were
saying?
putting
Y'all want to,
somebody out, and
you know what
next
that is?
day,
You know what you know what that's like to me. Another thing, you want to go to the social media stuff that I saw is like women getting in the middle of two men fighting. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And
yeah,
then I see like, like you might be with your man and he's inside of a beef, and
hmm,
because he don't want you to get hurt, he telling you get out the way. You end up getting him hurt because you
right,
ain't listening and complying and stuff,
right.
right? And then, you know, but long story short, I chalked that up to that. Like y'all got yourself caught up in a
A
domestic
situation.
dispute, and she had no business poking your nose into you and the other one. You know
And
what
then
I'm
you
saying?
and you did not have any care or concern for your little sister who went down. I mean, I fell like a tree
I didn't know that. I wasn't out there
and
observing that. That
and
wasn't
and
nothing I
and got
seen.
injured. I had to be drug out of the bush, and you didn't even help me. So
I didn't know.
we've definitely had our moments, but I will say that one of the things about being siblings is, at
Hmm.
least for me, I don't know any other relationships more deeply. Like, my siblings have been such a constant interpersonal dynamic for me. And if you don't care about those people that you've known all your life, then I feel like there's something wrong with you interpersonally. So yes, I can speak for myself. Now, bald-headed brother can say what he wants about me, but I feel like he is truly, because they said best friends. Yes, he's one of my best friends. I confide in him. He gives great advice. I call him all the time. I'm still the little sister, so I do annoying things. That's my job. But yes, we do have a good relationship. What do you say to that?
I say, going back to what you said at the beginning of this, which is that we didn't really know each other previously. I mean, I think we get to know each other a little bit better now. It's funny because, yeah, we have grown up with each other, right? And we came from the same conditions, but even though we came from the same conditions, we were fragmented from each other because we're all experiencing those conditions in different ways,
Hmm.
and we're all different people, right?
Hmm.
And some parts of our life is tearing us away from each other, and
Hmm.
we're all dealing with very extreme circumstances, to be real,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though it didn't seem like it. It was like normal stuff, and I feel like our grandma was the foundation that balanced us out, like just gave us a normal experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I would say that we didn't know each other, and us not knowing each other definitely created gaps between us.
Hmm.
And I think we are starting to discover each other now. Now, in terms of us being best friends and all that stuff, I would say I know my place that I'm not inside the Fokker circle, you know what I'm saying?
Why do you say
on
that? You don't keep saying
on the
that.
25 step ladder, I'm probably like step number 20 or something like
That is not true.
that.
That
I
is
don't
not true.
when I look at you, the lens that I have in my eye of you, I think the number one step, the person that's in your innermost circle is your husband, which is how it's supposed to be. Like these things ain't like it's funny because I think people tell you this, and some women that carry that serpent, and that serpent is bigger than
You and this serpent.
they take offense to the fact that that their man is the most important thing in their life. truth be told, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So for you, you actually have that. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so that's not a knock on you. That's like a reality. You know what I mean? And I
You know
think
I'm complex and I can do more than one thing. Like I can walk and chew gum.
Hey,
I
but
can, I can touch
you
my
think so?
toes.
This where you got blind spots where you shooting at the bow, the other person talking about we the same size and shit. You know what I'm saying? It is, you know, you try to tell me you an alien now, right?
No,
Like
okay.
you ain't like the rest of us human beings. You know, we done found like a real life extraterrestrial right here. No, there's
No.
life is fundamentals. It's often on one and two, black and white, yes and no. You
Well,
know what
that's
I
how your life
mean?
is. There is
No, it's a
some
no.
gray. There
Like
is some gray.
all life,
Okay,
all life,
there
all
is
life is
gray.
this
So
way.
I can do both. Like I can both love
No,
I can love
no,
my
no,
family immensely, which I
no, no,
you
no.
know what? Let me tell you why. I
I can tell you
created
this
that.
100. You see this, peoples. You see this. That's first thing is self-reflection and acceptance, right? Not denial. I know if there's a if it come down, if I got something going on and your husband got something going on, you gonna go to your husband and deal with
Okay,
his thing. I
but
know,
then
but
I'll
that's
try to
okay.
put you in.
But I'm not trying to say that that's a problem. I just know that's what it's. Like a
Well, okay,
person
let
on
me
a
ask
place. You
since
just know that if it's a conflict between his thing and my thing, she going with his thing.
okay,
I
so
know
what
that.
if this is the 50,000 question? This is what the
Mm,
group chat want to know.
mm,
And I don't
mhm.
know if it's true, but I'm gonna pretend it come from the group chat. If it came down to me and
Mhm.
one of your concubines, where do I
Well,
fall?
well, I don't have that same dynamic you got with your husband, so
I
I
want
can't
no,
say.
no, you
No,
do.
but if I did, like I guess what I'm trying to say is what you have is proper. Like it's supposed to be that way. I unfortunately ain't got it like that. So I can't say that any of them would outrank my people because that just ain't the case. You know what I
See, that's good self-reflection. That's
mean?
good self-reflection that you
Yeah.
so because but you still a conflict still brews. And here's how I know there's gray, right?
Hmm.
There's some things that I know like principally you're willing to fall on the sword for, like your children, your work, um, your brothers. Those things I know you were willing to go down for. There's other things that you like. Well, that ain't my responsibility. That's not my problem. So I know we're all pretty complex in this kind of undertaking. The other thing is I'm asking they're trying to figure out what for your sisters. So where do I fall in that? Because sometimes I don't know where I fall. And I'm gonna give you an example. Christmas. Remember
Uh-huh.
Christmas?
No, no, what
You
Christmas?
do. So this is
What
this
what?
this gonna bring you back. This gonna bring you back. So
Okay.
we was this is when the kids were really young and the PlayStation 4 or something like that was coming out. And you
Mhm.
wanted to get all the kids PlayStation 4s. And that was back when um Black Friday was really Black Friday, and we were watching the Black Friday sales, and they were coming out with whatever PlayStation number it was, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you and your partner at the time, right? Uh, we're gonna give the kids PlayStations. So I was like, well, I know where they're gonna have them for like whatever the reduced price was at the Walmart. And I said, we gotta get there, get in line. You gave me your credit card. Do you remember this
Mhm.
story? You gave me your
Nah, I
credit.
don't remember
Oh,
that.
good. I'm glad I'm giving you.
Which person was it? The first or the second?
This is the second one.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay. All right.
and the kids are still young, right? So you
Uh-huh.
gave me your credit card before I could arrive at the Walmart. That person was standing at the Walmart door and said, Xadian doesn't feel comfortable with you having his credit card. And look, wretched
I
from
don't
my
recall that.
fingers, like I was gonna steal
Hey,
from my brother.
hey,
And,
hey,
and
you know what though, producer? Our everybody in our family know
no, see now,
that
this is a true story.
our sister be listen. You know what? When we was back in Fox,
This is a true
she
story.
told us that MC Hammer was 50. And this was at the prime where MC Hammer had the can't touch this and that. Like he was on TV dancing, all this stuff. And she told us he was 50. And I
Mr.
told her,
Producer,
I
you see
thought
the deflection?
when she told me he was 50, I was like, wow, he's 50, he can move like that. He's doing this and that.
Mr. Producer, do you see?
She had our whole family running around
Mr.
talking about,
Producer, do you
hey,
see
he
the
fit MC
deflection?
Hammer 50, and people were like, MC Hammer ain't 50. And
Listen,
then and I felt like
I'm
a
not
damn.
talking about a child's mind. I'm talking about these. I'm
Hey,
talking about in my adulthood, Mr. Producer. He
I
let
don't know.
this woman beat me to the
I don't know
Walmart
about all that.
door.
I
I've
don't
told
know
this
about all
story a
that.
many times, and there were witnesses. She wrenched the card out of my hands as if I was going to be stealing from my onlyest brother.
Maybe
And
she did that on her own. I don't know. I
and
don't know this
listen,
story.
you and look, when I was, and so I still got the PlayStations because I was in properly placed in line for that sale. She paid for them, but what you didn't see was she also added other stuff in her basket.
Well,
So
why you ain't enlighten me then? hey, but you now you gonna wait. See, this is stuff. This is where I say the women with the serpent boy. You know what I mean? You wait 20 years. Hey, she put something in her bag 20 years ago. It don't matter now. What the hell that got to do with anything now?
because it was stretched out of my fingers, and you know what the funny thing was, I was hurt. I said, you know, I don't want my brother's money. I ain't gonna steal from my brother. You already was buying all 3 sets of kids a PlayStation. I said, let this girl have his money because that's what matters to her.
I hear you on that. Well, you know,
Matters.
it's really interesting, right? Because I think, like I said, that's some real woman like stuff to wait 20 years to bring to bring something up. You know what I mean? Should have told me that like when it was occurring. You
It
know what I
wouldn't have mattered. You let you because that you knew that girl was gonna beat me to the Walmart. And I still don't know how it's even possible, but she beat me to that Walmart, beat all the other Black Friday shoppers and stood there with her arms folded up. It's like Xadian wants me to handle his money. Okay, you got them.
well, one thing I would say is that definitely within families, you know, the people that's good with money and the people that ain't good with money. You know? And I would say that all around my circle of family, I can't say, but the ones that's good with money is few and far between. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
I would say
I
you
wouldn't
do
be
good
tripping
with
on.
money. But
I'll raise.
you're interesting because you are so you have your nephew is like this, okay? So I'm not indicting you, but y'all are very consistent, right? Like I don't think you own another pair of shoes other than Tim's. You know, like that's like and I've seen you in Tim's for like at least since high school, right? Like that
Mhm,
is your shoe. I mean, at the
mhm.
beach, he's in Tim's. At like, cleaning the garage, he's in Tim's. You know, like it's your shoe, right? So you're so like you're like you love black. Like you like I mean, I know they're different black t-shirts, but I'm gonna see you in a black t-shirt a lot of the time. So whereas like a woman, you know, we wear different, clothes
Mhm,
and like I'm
mhm,
not so routine in that way. So I think it's a little bit easier because you're not a label whore. You're not like you like your trinkets, but it's definitely not going to be like on clothes, purses,
mhm.
shoes, stuff like that. So you spend your money where you want to spend it, but
Everybody
you
does.
but you also have since I've known you, you like it's like you like to have it's like you know how the little leprechaun likes to swim in his pot of gold. You're like a leprechaun that likes to swim in this little pot of gold. And if that pot of gold, like you know that if the pot of gold isn't like, I'm good with the pot of gold being in the middle. You like that thing spilling over the top. And if it's not spilling over the top, you still don't got enough. I'm enough if it's like just in the middle. So we just approach it a little differently, because you like to swim in your gold, which is okay. I'm good with it.
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting perspective, which I ain't gonna dispute. But
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. It's like, it's like having a piece of pie. You know what I mean? You got a piece, a whole pie, right? And you try and stretch the pie. You know what I mean? I know if I drop the pie off in this house, that pie gonna be gone. You know what I mean? it ain't gonna be, ain't gonna be. You might not get no crumbs in the pie no more. You know what I mean? It might not be a drop left. It's just like that. Like you got a bag. You know what I mean? You drop that bag, you
It's
might not
gone.
see
Well, you got to
another
know
cent
who
out
your
that
people
bag.
are. You got to know who your people are. Now, to the other question before we leave in the group chat, people know we have another sibling. Um, and they want to know why we never talk about that sibling. So, we've actually never talked about this together. We don't have to talk about it, but the group chat is asking what happened to that sibling. So, you go first. You tell me what, that
Well, I
sibling
mean,
is alive.
if I go first, I'll say it like this: that there was a point in time in my life situation where both of you ranked at the same level to me, where I couldn't spend too much time with neither one of y'all. I had to take y'all in like some small measured doses, y'all be too
That's
much.
the
You know what I'm
spectrum
saying?
in you
Yeah.
got spectrum quality. You got to by yourself and swimming in the
No, no.
goal and
I'm
wearing the
like, man,
same
y'all
stuff.
people, these people is wow. This was before I understood that y'all women carry a serpent with you. But I always could discern that something going on here with these people. You know what I mean? so, so I was like, I got to reduce the amount of my exposure, or I'm gonna get corrupted by the serpent they carry, which I understand now is what that is. You know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Autism is here.
well, but to me, I started, I guess I'm trying to be, the thing is, I'm trying to be
It's
respectful.
uncomfortable.
I'm,
Look,
I'm trying,
it's a
I'm trying,
difficult subject.
I'm trying to be respectful because I ain't trying to be slanderous or nothing like this.
We don't got
But
to split it.
there was a couple of things that our sister did that, they were like eye opening to me. You know what I mean? One was that joint where she uh showed us a letter she wrote to a dude.
Yes.
And when I read the letter, I was like, you robbed him. There's some robbery shit right here. Now, I mean, no matter how you want to frame it up,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you did, you robbed this dude. You know what I mean? Feel me? And I didn't really like that because she implicated us in the robbery.
Right.
And I felt like that wasn't what I thought of her. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
think she would, and obviously he didn't either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was the first time I started seeing her in a different type of a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then after that, you know, uh, the thing that happened between you and her,
Mm-hmm.
which involved us all, which is basically death was happening in our father's side of the family, and you know, we all had an opinion on
Mm-hmm.
dealing with our father, and she knew what our opinion was, but she wasn't considerate about how we felt,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I was standing firm on the way I felt, which was I don't want nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like she convinced you to write a letter and all that stuff, and then unbeknownst to you, she was giving it to our father to represent. I was thinking like, now why the fuck would you do that if you know what I'm saying? If we ain't going because of him, you
Right.
know.
Right.
Then but since that time, I've been trying to figure out, like why she did that. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think it was she was trying to protect him for some reason. And but in her trying to protect him, she doesn't. She has blind spots, so she didn't protect her siblings, or even consider that. So it
Mm-hmm.
was just like one sided, aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And she was guns blazing, towards that. And then she did a lot of destructive stuff,
In between. Well,
following him.
well, this is what I think. And I
Hmm.
think that's a good description.
Mhm.
But even broader, I think you regard even if people are family members, you
Yeah.
have to have boundaries and you have to have expectations about how you should be treated. And there are going to be some family members that respect that boundary and some that don't. And
Mhm.
boundaries really are for yours to execute. So
Mhm.
how I'm going to say it without pointing any fingers is it's my boundary right now to not associate with somebody who hasn't demonstrated the qualities and the things that I need to be in a healthy relationship with them. Um,
Yeah, that's a very good way of describing it. I would also, I agree with you on that, but I would just add to it too that, sometimes having boundaries doesn't mean that you lose any like love for them. Because I be thinking
exactly.
about her often, and
Me too. I
and I
pray
think
for all
about
y'all.
her. Yeah, well, I
My
think
knees
about
stay
her in
dirty
this.
for you for real, because I mean, all the serpents in your life. I got to say, if
I
you're the
already had that mean.
you
I
got
keep the
serpents.
serpents
You're
away.
the only
I'm
you're
like
the
Muhammad Ali. Like I'm closing the door on the serpents, man.
no, no. You're the only adult male that I have met 2 times have pararomantic delusions from. Now, I work in mental health. Those are deeply, deeply troubling delusions. They typically don't happen in normal populations that don't have any kind of psychotic illness, and that has
Mhm.
happened to you twice. So, yeah, I stay on my knees praying,
Well,
I stay on my knees praying hard for both of my siblings, and that doesn't mean an absence of love. And I think that that's important. So for all the people in the group chat that want some drama, you're not going to get much because I don't. Me and my brother have deliberately decided that drama isn't appropriate in our lives, but that
right.
boundaries and having a level of integrity is important in our lives, and that's why I love talking to my brother.
Yeah, no
Regardless of
doubt.
who
No
you are
doubt.
a principled person. Like,
No, I agree. So that's why I feel like for her too, I guess my thought is that at least from her siblings, she's isolated, right? And I honestly don't think that's a great thing. It's not a good thing to be like cut off from your root and the people that really got real love for you and all this stuff. And it does something to me to know that she's kind of alone,
mm,
because I would say that she doesn't have like the support system construct that you have or what I might have, you
mhm,
know.
mhm,
So like literally, she's on her own trying to figure it out. And I
mhm,
mean, she's human, just like us all. I
mhm.
got a lot of like love for her and all that stuff, but also, like you said, I'm uh I'm really deeply disappointed
Me
in
too.
what I see of the conduct. And
Yeah,
then like, somebody you gotta definitely like draw the line in the sand somewhere or you complicit,
absolutely.
where the
And that's
thing
what
is,
we have
yeah.
done. And I want y'all to know, ladies and gentlemen, my brother Switzerland. Normally, when me and my sister fought, this dude was absolutely on the Switzerland treatise and would not, your sisters, y'all shouldn't be fighting. But this time, it was dope to see you apply your principles. And I think this time it was because it was against your principles. And so not right, wrong, or indifferent. That's how I have always seen you, is that you live by a set of principles. Now, some of your principles don't flow with my principles, right? But that's okay. I still love you
Yeah, I hear
deeply.
you. I
I
hear
still
you on
love
that.
you deeply, but
Mhm.
it's like what I knew when you were joining into my position that because I was gonna make that take this boundary situation regardless if anybody was with me or not.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it made me recognize that how I felt wasn't wrong and that what was needed to be abrupt. Now, so for all y'all nosy people, yes, we do have a sister. We love her deeply. Like she's a part of our DNA. There is no part of my life, and I say this to everyone, that includes my parents, that my siblings were not a part of. I know that's different from my brother and his perspective, but you're on the spectrum. So sometimes but,
That
um,
ain't true. That
but
ain't true. That ain't true.
so but for me, there's been nothing, like, there's no memory. that especially in my development where they weren't a part of. So, I'm just thankful for this time with you in the Rose Garden. It always goes
Mhm.
with I hope we entertained the group chat, and maybe
Mhm.
if you wanna really join in, please join in live and send your questions, and the producer will monitor it. Is any last words, brother?
Now, only last thought I would have is that, the thing that you just said in terms of, being able to realize and feel like the love and support that you got in that situation. I think our sister never had that. You know what I mean? So I can imagine that, her situation, she's still dealing with a great deal of, just pain, and she's carrying these pain bodies with her.
Yeah.
She don't really have nobody that's chosen her. She has never really had nobody that's sided up, you know, definitively with her and all that stuff. And I hope she gets that,
Yeah. But
for
we just
herself.
gotta
But she,
keep staying on
yeah,
our knees and giving, uplifting, and maybe, the sweet lamb will bring us all together. If not, I
100.
got bald-headed brother in the rose garden. Um, we'll be here same time, same place, same bat channel next week. Bye for now.
All right now.